What do you eat? 32?
Him?
You?
I'm 35.
35.
Yeah.
Bro, how does your body feel after taking a shot at 35 versus taking a shot at 25?
Oh no.
Bro, 10 years?
And we're gonna ask me that question a little bit, all right? Because we don't, like that. We got a lot of question of the days like that, and that's one of the questions. All right.
Okay,
I want to know what you say too. Like that. Well, yeah. At the end of the day, for sure, I'm like, even you're 45.
6, bro.
46 now. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's like, okay, I just referenced this song the other day to one of my clients. All right, it's Toby Keith. All right, in his song when he is like, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good as once as I'll ever be. Right?
Okay.
I don't know if you know that song.
Right.
Right?
No, I don't know the song.
Yeah.
But I have,
all right. But that's what the whole song is like. You know what? Hey, like that. And every times where I'll be going in, like, let's talk about last night. Okay.
Right.
My sparring sessions are on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
All right. So I'm like, I had to kind of like reality check myself, because I'm going in the cage with guys that not as experienced as me.
Right.
So, at the end of the round, my chest is puffed up. I'm like, I can fucking do this, man. If this is a competition, I'll beat everybody's ass. But then I'm like, I got to be like, oh, you know what? These guys, they only been training less than a year or maybe 2 years max.
Right.
Of course I'm beating their ass. All right.
Right.
Like
let me remember where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, like, you don't want to be, freaking Tony Ferguson going, like that. I was like, what did you see what he said the other day on his little confession?
No,
he said, like, he's like, bro, I'm in the prime of my career. I'm gonna go for another freaking like 20 years. I'm like, bro, stop it.
Stop.
Right? I like that. Isn't he like fucking 0-7?
Something like that. He hasn't won a fight in a long time.
Time.
And it's weird because when you look at him, one of his greatest assets was his athleticism.
Yeah.
And
like his aggression. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. I speaking about aggression. This is exactly why being 35, going into your 40s, stuff like that. I know I don't think it's that, like you physically slow down, or you lose your no, because like I'm like you can maintain that stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
All right, like that.
You keep it going.
I'm like, okay, let's just take someone that is freaking still training like that. You're gonna keep your power. You know what I mean? I'm like, if anything, you kind of feel even stronger. I'm like, that's why people always talking about old man strength. You know what I mean?
You're Romero?
Huh?
You're Romero.
Look at that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He debuted in the UFC when he was, I think, like
38, 37,
something like that, in his mid 30s.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Like that. Look at freaking Anderson Silva. He debuted when he was in his freaking early 30s. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, you can still do it. And even in his early 30s, dude was fucking lightning fast.
Right.
All right. Like no one can touch it. He had great head movement like that, knocking people out, with slip jabs, like that. You know what I mean? But still, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. Those are anomalies like that, but it can be done. Okay. Where I feel that, why, people in their older ages like that is because they understand that, the recovery aspect is not there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm like, so freaking you getting punched or you getting kicked and stuff like that. I'm like, you don't have this reckless abandonment of your body like you would be in your 20s.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
You're not throwing it all out there anymore because
I was watching some of these Pan Nogi freaking matches, bro. And like the transitions, bro, it was just so like, what we're talking about, two strike white belts going at it on a Saturday comp class.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
it hurts
I'm like, it's just
bro.
reckless abandonment with your body. Like, you're like, you don't give a shit no more. You're posting out things, you know what I mean? Like, and as like now you're 35, 40 and stuff like that, and then you have a couple injuries. You understand that, what, I got a fucking loose shoulder. My knee does, buckles when with my lateral movement like that. Like you can't just
too many heavy collar ties. I can't look left the next 3 days.
Shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%.
that stuff is in the back of your head. So you're a little bit more, you're slower just because you're more cautious.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. The experience is there, but you ain't going for exactly. You ain't just going balls to the walls no more. You know what I mean? Just bouncing off the fucking walls and fuck it if I fucking
But
just.
that's also, and when you think to that's what they talk about when they talk about these, because you have the older guys like the Donald Cerrone's and all those guys that know that they get injured. But so they wait and they watch for their opening and they wait for that young guy to make that stupid mistake and go for that flying armbar.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oops.
So, okay. All right. I'm not putting no names out there like that, and I don't think he watches this. Last night, sparring, all right?
Okay.
Okay, I'm 5'9", all right? I'm right now waking up in the morning like 168, okay? Like that, all right? The guy was sparring, okay? He's been here, a couple months, less than a year for sure, like that.
Right.
About 6'1", all right? And easily, like, if I had to age him, about a good 210, 215.
Big boy.
All right, he's solid too though. He lifts, all right, like that. He lifts, okay,
right,
like that, okay. And then so going in, like I was already watching him, freaking going with the other guys, all right. And he hasn't gauged at all his speed and his power at all. Everything is 100%. Even though I'm chirping from the outside, control. Watch your power, like that. Everything is a closed fist, and it's not necessarily with bad intentions, but he's swinging for the fences. What I mean?
I know a guy who's trained like
that. Like that, yeah. All right. So I went in with him. All right.
Okay.
I went in him purposely. The next round, I was like, all right, and I thought he was gonna kind of dial it down on with coach. First exchange that we did, bro, massive cross hook. You know what I mean? All right. So. All right, clear some distance. All right, shook it off, because he I deflected the hook, but he did catch me. I could feel it through my glove.
Right.
All right, like that. I was like, okay. All right. Bro, I freaking went in to the body. Someone taller like that, I always go to the body like that.
Right.
And then I caught him with a cross hook coming up. All right, like that. Because when I went in, he leaned straight back. And then,
a whole midsection right there. Please.
He leaned straight back because freaking, I pumped my jab upstairs, just to get him, feigning back. Then I went downstairs and then quickly came back up with a cross hook upstairs. Chin was so high, bro, freaking rocked the shit out. I knew he was seeing some stars. Right. You know what I mean? In the real fight, yeah, bro, I would have unloaded.
We kept going?
Yeah. But bro, I thought like that. Okay, I was like, all right, I was gonna freaking, cool him off, like nah. Again, dude came back, and then I went back to that same combo. He wasn't stopping it because he kept on leaving his chin in the air, So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, things like that. Okay, what were we talking about real quick? Hold on.
Experience, bro.
All right, yeah, experience. Okay. So yeah, I unloaded on him, and to like after that, when the second time he got rocked, freaking, I could tell like visibly, he took a knee, like that, and then I stepped back. I was like, because there's no use for like, especially when you're training, just keep unloading, and like that.
Yeah.
So I let him, clean the cobwebs. I'm like, you all right? Like that. Then for sure he just started dialing it back. You know what I mean? Like that. So
it's amazing how people don't realize what, like, they think that they're getting. They think they're doing something. They think they're getting the best of you. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about before, when you roll with somebody younger, or some younger in belt rank or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, I'm getting the best. I'm getting the best.
Oh yeah, because there's levels.
Yeah. And then you're like, "Fam, that's okay. I'm gonna have to show you."
Okay. So all right, now it hit me back while we were talking about this. All right, like that. You're talking about Donald Cerrone, waiting for the opportunity and stuff like that. All right. I know that I wasn't gonna go. All right. Toe to toe with this guy. He's taller. He's a taller fighter. He has a longer reach. All right, like that. All right, and so I had to wait for my opportunities.
Right.
I knew he was loading up on a lot of shit. Okay, and he freaking, and then I get this from Saul and stuff like that. What I tell my students now, I'm like, you slip, you make a miss, and then freaking all their weights forward, they're gonna be in that oh shit moment. You know what I mean? All they're trying to do is like, oh shit, I need to get my weight back. Yeah, I need to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So that's what I was like. I was watching because he was loaded up on a lot of stuff. So, what you're talking about, those older fighters, they're waiting for their opportunity now, all right? They're more experienced. They seeing the patterns coming and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was slipping to the outside of that big, because all he was really throwing was his crosses and his hooks, all right? So I was
power punches.
Yeah,
nothing
like
but power punches.
Nothing straight down the middle, nothing really getting me off line to set up the power punches on the outside or anything like that. So, I was getting underneath his hooks, all right? And then I was slipping, to the outside of his crosses, to open up those opportunities for me to unload, you know what I mean, like that. So, so yeah, that's what it was. But exactly going back to what you're saying last episode and stuff like that. All right, I like the skill gap.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, because okay, let's go with another guy that I went with earlier that day. All right, he totally understood the skill gap. All right, between me and him. All right, and like nothing on him, and I had a conversation with him after sparring and stuff like that. I was like, look, I know that you know that whatever you're gonna throw, I'm gonna probably come back with you with 2-3 more punches. Right? I'm gonna make you miss with the one punch that you probably threw, and come back with 2 or 3 more punches back. You know, to make it really pay for it.
Right.
All right, but do not stop throwing. Punches. Okay.
I think, Matt.
And it's because with people that really overthink things like that with the skill gap, then they just freeze. You know what I mean? They're just, they're just so frozen to throw anything. They're thinking so much in their head, and then they don't even pull the trigger. You
know who my favorite 2 guys that you have to spar with are, and I have no idea if they watch.
Who?
Drake.
Oh, and, okay. You're talking about my guys.
Okay, your guys. Drake and Justo.
Yeah. The tall guys and softballs. I hate them.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. They are both softballs. Yeah. But the thing is they do what you just were talking about.
Yeah.
Or at least they probably still do a little bit, but they both respect that there's a skill gap.
Yeah.
But they don't let that stop them.
Yeah.
They keep trying. They keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
But not like push forward like I know I'm gonna kill this guy.
Yeah, they're not.
But
just
they push. They
blind,
push. Yeah, they push for it. I like training with those 2 guys. They're pretty. And I forgot they're southpaws.
Yeah, they are southpaws.
Yeah, that's a Justo's more annoying as a southpaw, I think.
The thing about Justo that okay, me being a smaller guy, and he does it with everybody because he's the biggest kid in the freaking ring. All right?
No shit.
Yeah, he really is. All right. Okay. So he does it with everybody, but I hate it because I'm constantly on my horse. You know what I mean? Freaking cutting angles, backpedaling, and everything like that. Just because he's that true Muay Thai style, just walking you down, coming forward, and then like there's a lot of times I'm like, bro, I know, I freaking I probably hit him with a good back spinning heel kick to really freaking take a lot of wind out of his sails. Nope, he comes forward.
He walks through leg kicks too.
Like leg kicks. He has beefy legs. All right,
yeah, he walks through leg kicks.
Like that. But I'm talking about like gut shots. Like that, because like that's my go-to a lot of times. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna really, I'm tagging you in the head. But I'm not really rocking you where I'm getting the respect where you're keeping your distance, like when
right.
What I mean, because he's bigger than me, so like my shots don't really affect him as much as if I was a freaking heavyweight like him.
Yeah, 215.
Yeah. So then I rely more on like trying to slow him down with the gut shots or the kicks, like gut kicks and stuff like that. Still nothing, bro. And like he does such a great job on freaking putting us poker face on, because after the match he's like, coach, like yeah, that shit hurt. But like in the match, like in my head I'm like god damn, there's like fucking a minute and a half still left and this dude is still walking.
Yeah, he's still walking.
Yes.
But see, I used to like that when we would full spar with him, when I'd full spar with him, because one thing that, because he is a true Muay Thai guy. So if you shoot for the takedown on him, then he's kind of like,
bro, I have to really time my takedowns on him, bro.
Really?
I'm like, I'm a good wrestler and everything and all, but like with just the size difference, I'm like, bro, he just has some strong legs. I'm like, bro, some tree trunk legs. You know what I mean? So like,
I like Justo.
Like I like. If I know I'm gonna really, I'll try to get, if I know I want to go, I'm gonna go with him and stuff, and we're doing MMA, like that, because like there's days that I split it up, a couple rounds of boxing, couple rounds of kickboxing, couple rounds of MMA.
Okay.
But then like on a Saturday where everything is just all full rounds MMA, small gloves like that. I'm like I really try to break up, I try to get him early in the rounds where I'm fresh and I know I can right. Like that,
or
or later in the rounds where I know he's already a little bit weary and tired like that, and I'm still kind of fresh,
right?
Because I kind of like strategically pick, okay, let me go with these 2 easy guys
to try to balance out the
let me get these 2 semi-easy guys, reserve some energy, and then I go with him and just all out, freaking 5 minutes waste my energy on him.
Bro, I like those 2, and I'm glad they're still around.
All right,